Another key ingredient to success. And a lot of times, how many times we all heard about goal setting? Too many times. Everybody, if you want to start a seminar company, go out and preach to people from the stage about goal setting. And it's so amazing because for all the amount of hours that I've spent on the platform teaching people, it's very rare. I only ever talk about goal setting in one seminar, and that's a week-long program called Journey Beyond Perception. Other than that, we leave it alone. Because someone's sitting down going, whoa, I have to have a Corvette. And people think it's a goal, and they say, hey, take a picture of that Corvette and put it on your mirror. And you wind up with a mirror with a bunch of tape marks all over it. I did that. Always wanted to have a Jaguar. Taped it up on my wall. Never got a Jaguar. But I had tape marks on my wall. By the time I could afford a Jaguar, I didn't want it. But it's funny, that was goal setting. And see, goal setting doesn't mean anything. It's goal achieving that's important. It's goal achieving. Goal achieving doesn't take place until we do a thing called realization. And realization is inside of each and every one of us. Inside of our heart, we know there's a place we want to be. There's a place we want to live. There's a way we want to live. There's a place we want to feel a certain way. We want to have a certain kind of relationships. We want to have a certain level of security. We want to have a certain level of safety. We want to have all those things in our lives. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to realize that place. But too many times we ignore it. And if we can only do the things necessary to be able to live the way we really feel we want to, that'll be realization of our life, realization of ourselves. So I was in Mark Sodequist's office the other day, and he was saying if you could talk about 6 things, what would they be? I said, realization is really important. And he said, okay, great. And he took his computer and he types in realization. He said, how would you define that? And I said, I don't know. Let's ask the folks. How would you define realization? Realization is taking the theoretical dream-like person you're supposed to be and going from where you are now to becoming them. So how would you define realization? Because I thought there's thousands of your intelligent brains here. Why should 2 of us labor in the office for no good reason when you're here? Why? You're not cooperating. Well, we've made arrangements to call out seat numbers at random. Or would you just rather me give you my definition? Are you ready to write? My definition of realization. Ready? Realization. Having the ability to comprehend the absolute necessity to take relentless and massive action to capitalize on a rare opportunity that will only present itself temporarily before it is passed on to a more deserving soul who takes the necessary action required. Would you like that again? Okay. Realization. The ability to comprehend the absolute necessity to take relentless and massive action to capitalize on a rare opportunity. Are you all with me? That, and this is the important part, that will only present itself temporarily before it is passed on to a more deserving soul who takes the necessary action required. Now, I'm sure if we'd taken time and passed around a microphone, you guys would have probably come up with the same definition. I believe most of us would agree we have an ongoing yearning inside of us. And to many people, it's a search to find ourselves. Where are we supposed to be in life? What position are we supposed to play? Where are we supposed to live? What's our relationship supposed to be like? Am I the only one? Or do you have that also? It's a yearning to realize who we are and why we're here. But without taking massive action, we're never going to get to where we're supposed to go to find out. And I've seen so many people set a goal, and that goal was so paramount to them, they worked and worked and worked to achieve a certain goal, and then found out that goal really wasn't even what they wanted. And so realization is each and every one of us needs to take the time to figure out what it is we really want. And I know a lot of you say, how can you be doing a program and you keep talking like you're talking to me directly? I think this may be one of those moments. If you're working hard to achieve something that's not really something you want, you're going to find it more difficult to achieve it. And it's almost like if we can go to God for a minute and think of God has drawn a path in your life and you're supposed to go over here. And everything is flowing this way, but you want to go out there and accomplish some goal that's not really true. It's going to become harder for you to do that than if you follow the path you're going to. And the great part about this business is it's flexible, it's tailor-made. You can do anything with this business. It allows you to achieve certain levels of success so you can go any direction you want to go. One of the most important factors is for most of us, we chase success outside ourselves. We see success as having the right watch or the right car or the right house. And so many times we've all heard the expression, money doesn't buy happiness. And I've personally been able to hang around a lot of wealthy people who are not very happy. If you want to see some miserable people, go hang out at a yacht club. Go hang out with people that have made a fortune, living on their boat, chronic alcoholism, miserable people. And I look at that and say, you know what, if money buys me that kind of misery, give me a park bench and take away my wealth. Because that's not why I wanted to achieve wealth. I never wanted to achieve wealth to be better than other people. I wanted to achieve wealth because I saw wealth as fun. I saw wealth as freedom. I saw wealth as an opportunity to share. And that doesn't describe greed, does it? Because see, a lot of times when people get around money, they focus on greed. And greed is an external accomplishment of buying things that people don't really want or need for the sake of establishing your self-esteem. If you can put all those pieces together. But a key is for each and every one of us, realize what you really want out of your life. And when you settle down to understanding what you want and where you're going, you're going to find it a lot easier to get there. And you know, the phone's going to ring with the same tone, and the person on the other end is going to say the same thing. But you'll be amazed at how much easier success comes to you, how much easier people will agree with you, how much easier people will get involved in your business, how much easier people will buy your products when you've realized what it is you really want. And when you take the time, which I'd like you to do sometime between tonight and tomorrow, a little bit of time you'll have, and decide really, and write it down. What is it you really want to do? What is it you really want to be? And the management question there is, if I do this, how will I feel? If I do this, how will I feel? If I accomplish this, how will I feel? And for many of you, you're going to find out that the amount of wealth you need to achieve is not what you thought. It's not. Some people I go, you know, and it's funny doing the goal setting part, how much money when I millions? Well, that's not a specific goal. I mean, everybody wants millions, but no one gets millions because all they do is want millions. They got to be specific. But if you begin to realize you really don't need millions. And I found that when you take your goal and bring it down to a realistic level, the paranoia we carry around that people communicate non-verbally goes away when we're not trying to bite off so much. When we get rid of the paranoia, then we don't have to be such a coward. We don't have to be so afraid of it. We don't emanate what I call fear of the dog. We've gone through that many times. And that's a key, most important factor when you begin to realize where you want to go and actually start going there. And that's what I call the relentless pursuit of happiness. Bottom line is most people never figure out what they want their life to be like. And if you figure that out and start filling in the gap with the relentless pursuit of happiness, you're going to be the rare individual that people look at. You can be walking through a mall, crowded mall, and people will stare at you because you're different. And it's because you've realized the path you want to walk on. And it doesn't take $1 bazillion to walk on it. Here's another one of the inner secrets I've never shared before. When I finally figured out where I wanted to go in life, I was able to settle myself down. I realized I didn't need a yacht. And I realized I didn't need my own personal jet. And I realized I didn't need 10 houses. And I focused on what I really, really wanted. It allowed me to calm down to the point that I stopped communicating my intimidation, my fear, my cowardice, because I knew now I was only biting off enough I could handle. And by settling myself down, I was able to better communicate with people, and they felt safer, and they felt more compelled to take action. And by them feeling safer and more compelled to take action, it allowed me to achieve all the things I'd finally given up on. Isn't that twisted? When I was out chasing them, they ran away from me like crazy. When I finally realized I didn't need those things, I was able to communicate with people better. Their confidence in me rose. Their feeling of security and confidence rose. And it was through them feeling comfortable to start taking action that multiplied my efforts and rewarded me to a level I never could have done on my own. That all came out of realizing what I really wanted. Most of us in this room want things as trophies to prove to other people how successful we are. And we didn't come here to impress other people. We came here to walk our path and reach our level of success. And I'd much rather walk on this earth knowing I was successful in my heart than I'd rather walk this earth feeling empty and having all my friends admire me. That's realization. It's realization that you're here to accomplish certain things. You're here to overcome certain goals and obstacles. And you might have won that initial race. But on the way out, God gave you a toolbox. And He said, here, you got to fix these things in your life. And I'm going to see whether or not you can figure these out. For some of you, it's a confidence problem. For some of you, have an overconfidence problem. For some of you, you're so busy wishing you're somebody else, you don't even know who you are. And you know, they say God the Father, right? He's like our Father to everybody. I can just imagine a father up there going, come on, for God's sake, you're 27 years old. Today, huh? So many people I see have habitual habit patterns. And it's like we all want to get to the point where I'm an exec. I don't have to think anymore. You know, I got a pen. I don't have to work on me anymore. Look at me. But think of it this way. Remember when you first started to do addition and subtraction? Maybe second, third grade, you started getting the cards down and you felt proud. Little did you know, lurking behind the scenes was calculus with analytical geometry and physics. They were setting you up. And so many of my personal friends, and I know it's true for you too, so many of my friends stopped thinking the moment they graduated high school. They got out, they got a job, they've been working the same job, they've been living in the same neighborhood, living with the same person, having the same center of influence, and they never changed. And it's as you achieve more and more success and monetary wealth, the amazing thing is watching how your friends and relatives react to it. That's the most incredible part. And it doesn't matter how much it is because it becomes irrelevant. But they'll look at you thinking, you make, and God forbid, the day you cross the $1 million line. The day anybody you know finds out you're a millionaire, forget about it. They think you burn money to warm your house. You know, because when you make $1 million, and I'm sharing with people up here who've made $1 million, it's not a lot of money. Unless you haven't made it. Then you think, oh, how could you say such a thing? I tell you what, you make $1 million and spend $1 million, it wasn't that much. It's gone. But I remember when I answered an ad and I walked in and there was a man in front of the room and everybody was going, he's a self-made multimillionaire. He's rich. I mean, I would figure this guy has, you know, he doesn't have Charmin in the bathroom. He's got a wooden box with $100 bills, right? You know, he can afford it. Millions of dollars. Then reality sets in. Millionaires use Charmin just like the rest of us. It's not that different. And that's the one thing. It's a figment of your imagination. And the most exciting thing to me is watching your friends and relatives react when you're one of those. You're one of those. And that's what it is. It's like you just got this communicable disease. He's one of those. He's a millionaire. And a lot of you folks are the same way. You walk up to me like, just like to shake your hand. Okay. Just ask. I can show you. I can shake both of them at the same time. Happy now. It was a realization for me. I always was so humbled to be in the presence of wealthy people. I always thought they were so different than me. And I started working with a couple of them, volunteering my time just to be near them so I could listen to how they talked to people and listen to how they thought and saw what they did. And I just wanted to spend one day with someone who was wealthy. And you know what the key factor I found was? I don't know if I can reveal that one to you. The key factor I figured out is they probably got up at 5 in the morning, they were relentless on the phone, they were yelling at everybody, and they were constantly in meetings. That wasn't it. What I found out about every wealthy person I've ever worked with is they had fun doing everything they did. No matter how big the problem was, no matter how big the challenge was, no matter how difficult a situation was, no matter if they just found out they were being sued by God himself, they had fun doing it. I mean, I walk in some days and they go, oh, wow, look at this problem just came in. And everybody's like, oh, no way. Never let it affect their attitude. They had fun no matter what. Now, isn't that a terrible prescription to have to swallow? So here's my philosophy for you today. Realize where you want to go. And don't overdo it, because your success, once it comes, will allow you to change your realization. It'll allow you. And by settling yourself down, you'll find you're able to attract more of the people you're looking for, which is going to spur you on to greater success anyway. But the key ingredient I found out with wealthy people is they always have fun no matter how difficult the challenge. And I think it's a key factor. Those of you who are closest to me know, no matter what happens. I have been in some very, very difficult situations. And the thing is, never lose your sense of humor.